tremendous experience and to interact with very high-level panelists and co-moderator from industry was extremely helpful. I would say that we are all on the same page in terms of thinking that the role of inflammation and immunity is gaining ground in research and in therapeutic development. There's a tremendous effort underway to make therapies that are much more specific to a particular cell type or a particular disease pathway. And this is one of the major advances, I would say, in the field at this point, because previously we had very general, sort of more generic immune suppression that affected every system in the body. And so now the idea is to really target specific systems and leaving the other systems in our body that are important for maintaining health able to continue doing their good work that they need to do. So for me, I'm very interested in the immune response in Alzheimer's disease, and what we've discovered is that it's not necessarily the amyloid deposition, so these are the plaques that are formed in the brain. It's not necessarily that per se that's causing the direct neurodegeneration in the brain. What we're thinking now is that it's really the immune response to these initial pathologies that can then engage the immune system, cause neuroinflammation, and that's what seems to be driving the downstream pathology. And what's really interesting and exciting in terms of therapeutic development is that this seems to be common across many neurological disorders. So you start with a different initiating pathology or stimulus, but that eventually it all seems to be going into a similar pathway that seems to be very immune focused, and that if we could perhaps find some way to block that immune process once someone gets to that point, we might be able to actually save neurons, save synapses, and protect the brain in ways that aren't available right now. I think this is an exceptionally great opportunity to meet people. You know, being in an academic lab, we're not always in communication with folks from industry, and this is a wonderful opportunity to meet people who are doing this as their daily work within companies and really trying to find therapies that they can bring to clinical development as soon as possible. So just as an example, within the last 15 minutes, I just set up 2 potential collaborations with different companies. So I think it's really beneficial in terms of making that leap from academia into industry and having that crosstalk and collaboration. We are just starting to use AI, but mostly for proteomic and transcriptomic data analyses at this point. I think AI is fascinating, and I do see it as being the wave of the future, and I think it'll be very helpful in terms of once we identify better these immune pathways. So for example, I'm interested in the immune response that occurs when somebody has this vascular side effect with anti-amyloid immunotherapy. And so if we can use AI to really better understand who's getting it, which cells are involved, when does it occur, why is it in some people and not in others, we can hopefully use AI that will help both stratify patient populations, who's at risk and who's not, but also to identify new targets to mitigate that side effect. We are currently very focused on ARIA, the vascular side effects of anti-amyloid immunotherapy, and we have recent funding. We have 3 grants from NIH and 1 from Cure Alzheimer Fund. We are really trying hard to come up with combination therapies so that we can mitigate this vascular side effect. We see this as being perhaps a temporary treatment that would be given at the beginning of dosing. ARIA occurs usually within the 2nd or 3rd dose. And so we hope that we can find a way that we can combine 2 therapies, anti-amyloid antibodies and some other therapy, possibly targeting the immune system, and that would then mitigate the ARIA. If it turns out that doing this actually also, as also increases efficacy, it might not be a temporary therapy. It might be something that continues on after the amyloid has been cleared and the anti-amyloid antibodies therapy has been stopped. I'm very honored to be invited to this forum as moderator, and I really enjoyed the discussions both beforehand, during, and after the forum panel this morning. I think this is a very unique opportunity to bring together researchers from many different fields, focusing on common questions that cut across different research areas, and to bring together academics and industry is fantastic. So thank you very much.